Hello everyone, welcome back to Paptopia. This is my Minecraft survival series. If you haven't seen the first couple episodes, they will be in the description, do not worry. For those of you that have been with us even, through the last couple episodes, I told you that I'd be doing some work off camera because basically the boring stuff is the mining, which you can see I've certainly made a start on. In fact, we'll go all the way down. I'll also address the inventory setup right now. Might look like a fair few random things, a few enchanted items. How did I get those? Well, this is the what I've got going for the mineshaft right now. Just hallway this way, hallway that way. Nothing too exciting. Planning on making it a two-wide staircase because this is a bit claustrophobic. Um, I went fishing with just a shitty little fishing rod that I found, that I put together because it's a really good way of getting food early game. If you can spare the string, it's definitely worthwhile. It's something that I've only found out relatively recently. I never really relied on fishing as much as I do now, previously. But whilst fishing, came across a really, really good enchanted fishing rod. Now, as you can see, there's a couple here. There's an unbreaking one. There's a couple other ones that I got as well that ain't so great, but I plan on fixing up and putting them together with other ones that are alright that might help me out. But anyway, I came across one that had mending and unbreaking on it. This one here. Now, the luck of the sea came in later when I found one that was sort of similar to this, but only had luck of the sea and another like unbreaking one enchantment on it or something. So what I did was put those together, and it gave me a little bit of durability. Now, for those of you that don't know or maybe aren't as savvy as the I don't know veterans of Minecraft are when it comes to the newer patches, Minecraft 1.10 introduced a mending enchantment along with a few other like Frostwalker and stuff like that. And the mending enchantment means that if I was to start using this and it was actually hitting something or it was actually reeling in fish, then obviously, just like any other fishing rod, it would lose durability. However, if I gain XP, what happens is it will check this slot, this slot, this slot, this slot, this slot, and whatever is in my hand to see if I have a mending enchantment on any of those. And if I do, say I have mending on just the helmet, then a certain amount of that XP is lost, but repairs the bit of brokenness in the helmet. So that means if you have nothing mending, because if you only have one item mending, it will automatically pick the helmet. However, if you have everything mending, your shield's mending, all your armor's mending, and this is mending, it will randomly select one to try to repair. It won't evenly repair all of them, unfortunately. So keep that in mind, you might only want to put mending on one specific god item. Um, but with this fishing rod, I've reached a very, very, very nice equilibrium where I can sit there and just AFK. I have a button bind so that basically it'll throw the rod, wait, I think I set it to like, in fact, sorry, it's not wait. I don't know. My friend set up this button bind thing through Minecraft. I think it might be a script would be the proper way to say about it. I don't know. I installed it similarly to a mod, put it that way, but I don't really know much about the coding sides of computers. But basically, it throws out, and I think it checks to see if anything actually makes this bob up and down. And if something does, then it'll force me to right click again, reeling it back in, and then on like a 3 second delay, it'll reel it back out again. And then check for the bobbing, reel it back in if there is something, and on we go. So that means that last night I AFK'd for a while, and that means that my wheat is fully grown. And by the way, I've expanded the wheat farm a bit. By the way, the reason why I haven't gone up here yet, there's a bit of stuff that's gone on. Not much, but as you can see here, I've got myself a new anvil, and there's a little room on that side. We'll get into that now, actually. There's not much going on. This is some other stuff that I got whilst fishing. Um, this is the anvil that I've been using to basically put the stuff together, like that, but I don't really want to put the unbreaking thing on an unbreaking thing. It's kind of pointless unless you've got an unbreaking 4 book or something. And this is extra storage space, and I went out and I killed some spiders, and I managed to get enough wool to make myself a bed. If you don't know, you can put 4 string just up here, and you get 1 wool, which is good. As you can see, fairly expanded. I think last time that you guys would have seen this, you'd seen this first one, maybe? Hell, maybe not even that. I can't quite remember. Maybe only like this kind of quarter. Um, but like I've basically put a 1 day and 1 night's worth of work into basically doing the kind of boring stuff or repetitive stuff. As you can see, we've got a few trees growing up there as well. That's because we were running low on wood. Um, but yeah, I plan on keeping this size at the very least until we actually fill it all with wheat. I can go and harvest this stuff now if I want to, but we've got that much fish that it's kind of pointless. And I've got some plans on the stuff that I want to make upstairs, so that's why I've been smelting some stone. Could do with actually having another furnace. I think that would be a nice little implementation. Sorry, by the way, if I sound kind of grisly or deep or anything like that. By that I mean like my voice sounds rough. That's because I've got a bit of a cold. I know, it's a bummer. I don't like it, but I gotta deal with it because the human body sucks. But yeah, the reason why I got the bed, by the way, is because I really don't know where the actual spawn point is from here. If you've been trying to play along with us, by the way, that's the uh, coordinates to travel to set up home. And yes, I am on the Minecraft 1.10 version simply because there's the fishing rod thing that would only work in 1.10, not 1.10.2 or whatever that we're on at the moment. And also, when I do creative stuff, I really, really, really like world edit, which is if any of your older players, single player commands came with it and basically gives you a little wooden axe that you can select one area, select another area, do some stuff. But yeah, as you can see, this area is a fair bit more dense, I suppose, full of trees. Don't worry, this is the only time that it'll look like this. I don't intend on making this look too foresty in this area. And if there is any trees that I put in for aesthetic reasons, then I'll probably build them. Either that or there'll be trees that grew really big, like these ones. And if I like the look of them, I might just leave them. These, by the way, are created if you just put 4 saplings in a row with spruce wood. That's spruce wood tree right there, spruce tree. Also lit up the general area because I was really tired of just slightly popping my head. Just a little bit. Just God, I can't do the high voice that I would usually do with a cold. It just sounds like my voice is eternally breaking. But yeah, really tired of popping my head out of this hole just tiniest bit to find a creeper behind me. It really annoyed me. Um, but yeah, progress update done. Already getting to night. That means that we'll be able to go over to the bed, sleep, and we can start a fresh day. With said fresh day, what I'd quite like to do is, by the way, this I was planning on getting some chickens in here. There was a fair few chickens upstairs that had been laying eggs, and I had like 16 eggs. Not a single one of them gave me a chick. I was very disappointed. Um, got some. I'll use the cooked fish from now. Uh, eat this stuff. I really need some extra storage space, to be honest. All my wood's upstairs. I'll quickly hop up there, grab some wood, make some storage, and empty my inventory a bit. This is from the original trees that we cut down. Yeah, that'll be enough. Um, by the way, this little kind of hut thing at the end is just my fishing station. I'd been AFKing over in that direction. I hope you guys don't mind me using mods. I mean, it's not like I have the hugest amount of subscribers at the moment anyway, so it's not like that many of you would be up in arms about it, I doubt, because it's a pretty small channel at the moment. I understand maybe if there were bigger fans of channels, but I highly doubt anybody, like, I'm anybody's favorite channel right now. I've made like 4 or 5 videos, something like that. But yeah, this was just a hut that I sat in and fished. It was quite nice to watch the sunrise and stuff just from a distance. But anyway, yeah, gonna go back in here, gonna make some chests, and then I think we'll get to sleeping. In fact, I'll just use all of it like that. There we go. Get to sleeping, and then we should be good to go. I left my pickaxe over this way. I like to fish with an empty inventory because that means there's less chance of like stuff having a full inventory and then like stuff landing on the ground. As you can see, we've done a fair bit of fishing. There's some interesting books here, and I know it seems like a bit of a sudden change as far as like how prepared we are, but I'd like to remind you that oh, I admit I found diamonds. I didn't record it. I'm so sorry. But by diamonds, I mean I found a singular diamond in here. There we go. One diamond, one emerald, some iron. That's all I found in that kind of mining area. But I haven't properly mined the area recently, so I'm sure we'll find more. And I'll be sure to be recording next time that I find diamonds. It was just a spur of the moment thing, and I got quite excited, so I just broke it, and I was like, oh, should have been recording. Um, but yeah, what was I gonna do? Yeah, break this stuff, place chests there. I'll even place a chest here and here, just so that we open up a bit more extra special storage space for us. Extra special items would include that fancy fishing rods that we have. Um, that's about it for now, but when fancier items happen, then I'll be sure to put them in there for safekeepings. Um, just gonna, I really like things to be nicely sorted, and I used to have a mod that would kind of just you press a button, boom, it would sort it. It was really nice, but I don't think that's in Minecraft anymore. I really don't. Um, I'm sorry, that's the cold. As I've been trying my best to hold back the sniffles all recording session, but sometimes they just gotta happen. But yeah, I'll sleep the night away here. Um, yeah. So plans are, I am going to, yeah, gonna grab some iron. Just 3 should do, and I should still have 2 bits of wood, right? Yeah, there we go. In fact, I've got 2 sticks. That'll do. Boom. And I'm gonna make an iron axe. Boom. I'm gonna get to chopping down these trees. So we're gonna make a slight edit here. I don't know if I'm gonna jump cut or if I'm gonna do something fancy like speed up the footage of me cutting down all these trees or as much of them as I can be bothered to cut down. But whatever happens, I will be sure to join you guys back in just a moment. There's a skeleton hiding under that tree. I'll let him be from now. But yeah, we'll be back in just a moment. Hello everybody, welcome back. Slight issue. The stuff that you're seeing right now on screen happening in game, uh, not actually happening right now. I'm recording my voice after this because typically, after I recorded that little bit that you guys watched, that's all fast forwarded and chopping down trees and stuff, um, I'm afraid I forgot to turn my microphone back on. I'm muting my mic because I've got a cold, as you guys know, because I think I said that in the first bit. But I thought you guys don't deserve to hear my coughing and snorting and sneezing and stuff like that all the way through this, so I'll mute my mic. And I even said to myself halfway through recording that you should really remember to unmute your mic at the end of this, because I hear so many YouTubers even, um, saying, "Oh, I had all this recorded, but I didn't realize my mic was muted or whatever." But then I completely forgot, went completely out of my mind. So I'm afraid I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk to you guys over some of the recorded footage that I've got going on. Now I've got this in the background, so I'm just going to talk over whenever interesting parts happen that I feel need explaining. At the moment, I'm climbing the mountain because I was explaining to you guys that I kind of wanted to make Paptopia. I wanted to make an actual kind of villagey thing that would end up being like a kind of town or city or utopia. And what I want to start with was a castle. Of course, always a great place to start whenever you begin building a small little village. Always begin with a fucking castle. Yes, that's what you need. Um, but yeah, I was just kind of describing how good it would be if like this entire island of mountains could become a village. That'd be good. But what I do here eventually, in just a little minute or two, is I go into a creative world with the same seed, uh, and I hop on in and basically try to build the general outline for the actual building going on, the castle that is. Um, so yeah, I'm afraid what I'm gonna do here for a little bit, because I'm afraid I'm not gonna be able to give you guys much commentary, because of course I'm not actually building the thing in game. I can't really provide you guys with the commentary that I could in game, which, in my opinion, was actually quite interesting. I was quite proud of myself for recording for like 20 minutes straight without even saying a single. Well, it was probably pretty uninteresting to some people, but in my opinion, my commentary was pretty interesting. And I was so proud of myself. But oh well, can't help it. But yeah, right here I'm just typing in the seed, and uh, because I couldn't remember if the actual seed for the world was Pappy with a P, like capital P, or if it was with like lowercase p, I just typed slash seed into the world, um, and then this little number pops up. You can do that whether you've got cheats or not, by the way. Um, it's just part of the default structure of single player commands that's given to you, whether like even if you have cheats off, because it's not a cheat, it's just information regarding the seed. I was explaining here that I'm planning on jumping into this creative world. Everything was done, so we got loading into it. I'll let you guys listen to a little bit of music from now. If there's anything interesting, I'll be back. So what you guys probably saw there was me teleporting in. I went into the single player world again, got the coordinates for exactly where we previously were. You guys that have been with me from episode 1 will probably remember the places like the lava lake and the little coal ore area that we dug out to become our home. And this is of course the untouched landscape before I tried flattening it out a little. And this is of course the mountain that we plan on building our big old castle on. But yeah, the slight cut that you probably saw was because basically I needed to go back into the single player world, write down the coordinates, and pop them back into the actual typing menu. What would you call it? The chat box, I guess. The command, by the way, is /TP. This letters TP space at. You know, the at symbol for your Gmail accounts and what have you. And then space followed by. Sorry, did I say at P or just at? It's meant to be at P. It's TP space at P, followed by the coordinates that you want to TP to, and that goes in X, Y, then Z order, alphabetical order. Right here on screen, by the way, I was deciding on what exactly kind of woods that I'd like to use. I've got a little bit of birch wood, and I could go out hunting for more. But for the time being, it's relatively irrelevant whether I use spruce, oak, or birch, because the castle is going to be made entirely of stone bricks, cracked stone bricks, and mossy stone bricks. And at some point, I tried explaining that I didn't actually have any vines currently to make mossy stone bricks, but I'd more than happily travel out, try and find a jungle, and hopefully get to work on that. But once again, I'll reintroduce you guys to the music, and you can enjoy just me trying my best to flatten out some ground and build the castle. If you guys aren't interested in this part and are just interested in the commentary, as you guys have probably seen by now, there will be annotations on the screen telling you when to skip to for the next me talking bit, the bit that some people might actually find interesting. So this is me laying the first few bricks of what I planned on making the kind of first watchtower of the castle. Now later on I explain exactly what I mean by a watchtower. I make a small kind of smaller version of what someone's typical thought process of a castle would be. But you guys will see that in a bit. At the moment, what I'm doing is I won't do this all the way through. Sorry for the Facebook noise there. Hopefully, it won't happen again. But right underneath the, of course, it happens again. This actually happened whilst I was building the castle as well. I should really just stop using Facebook whilst I've got the whole recording stuff open. But yeah, basically what I was planning on doing was if you get a piece of stone that's kind of on the edge of a large wall, of like a wall off the actual mountain, so you can see the block it's standing on from the outside. And I really hate that aesthetic. It looks horrible in my opinion, because it looks like a huge, big, castle-y structure, or a big, well put together Victorian house or something like that. It's just look. This is what I mean. See this right here? Just I think I replaced it right here. I was talking for a bit. Yeah, I was talking for longer than I thought I was. There we go. So if it's just sitting there, it looks like it looks literally like it's just sitting there. And I went on to explain my pet peeve in great detail right now about how exactly I like to lay it out, You can get a general idea of what I'm talking about here. Oh, I'm afraid my computer tried going to sleep there. But basically, yeah, when a building is just standing on top of nothing, I hate that idea. Now, if it's on a block that you can't see from the outside, that's fair enough. You don't need to build actual foundations. But if you can see it, the block that's standing on from the outside, then hate that because you want a big building, a castle, to be standing there for quite some time. It's meant to last a few thousand, well, a few hundred years, I guess, at the very least. Um, so when you see something like that, it just makes it feel like a little nudge could knock over the wall. Um, but yeah, I carried on building this kind of watchtower bit. I'll let you continue listening to music, and I will be back shortly. So right now what I'm doing is I'm clearing a slight area to give a very small example of what someone's typical thought process behind when they think castle might look like. So if someone was told to just draw a castle or build a very small castle in Minecraft, kind of not limited in building power or anything like that, but someone that is maybe, of course, Facebook, someone who's a bit less imaginative would maybe build. They'd think a default castle to look something along these lines. So these kind of higher up bits in the corner that I'm building are the watchtowers that I was referring to that I kind of wanted to start my building off with. Um, and of course, I also explained that you'd probably have the kind of larger. There's the doorway. The kind of larger. I don't really know what you would call it, and I didn't even know what you would call it when I was recording this, but I wanted to make it into a wizard tower. Now, I think it might be called the Keep or something like that, but just the tall bit in the center, and we will still have one of those. It'll follow the same, like our castle will follow the same rules as a default castle, but it'll just have a very interesting shape to it. And I live in Edinburgh, and Edinburgh Castle has quite an interesting shape to it. It doesn't follow the default square feel. It follows a much more outline of a mountain, I guess. And I suppose to an extent that's kind of where I'm getting my inspiration from for a lot of this. But at the same time, I'm not actually. I haven't been to Edinburgh Castle for like 3 years, maybe four. So I can't really remember what the castle looks like completely. I can remember it from the outside, not bad, because whenever I go into town, I can see it. It's right there. But the finer details on the inside or up close, don't have a clue. I'm not going to be including every pathway. This is not Edinburgh Castle. This is my castle. It just happens to have the same idea of following the kind of shape of the mountain as Edinburgh Castle. I was explaining here, by the way, that worst case scenario, if these walls look a bit crap from the inside, we can just cordon them off, section them off like built there, and then light up the darkness that nobody's ever going to see, just to stop mobs from spawning. But yeah, that's if we want the inside of the castle to feel a bit more square once we get the walls a bit higher. Um, I think at one point I even explained that basically I am intending on getting this done as quickly as I can. So the next episode probably won't be out for a couple of days, maybe even until next week. Um, Basically because I'm not going to come back and boom, the castle's done. It won't be quite that extreme, but I do need to do a lot of resource gathering before I can even lay the first couple blocks of this, you know. So I also, just with school and things, don't completely have the time for that, you know. I don't have all the time in the world, unfortunately. I wish I did. I wish I could just make YouTube my job right here and now. In fact, I wish money just wasn't an issue ever to anybody. I wish you could have all the time in the world to do whatever you want, whenever you want, just because you find it fun. But I can't think of any form of government or parliament or world really where that would work. So, hey, I'm afraid for the time being, you guys got to put up with the fact that I need to go to school, and I got to put up with the fact that I can't make YouTube a career unless A, I have many, many, many viewers or subscribers or whatever, or B, I find myself a side job to work as primarily and then use this as like a kind of second job if I can start making some money from it. But yeah, this is me continuing to lay the foundations. That was the second watchtower completed, the kind of circle that I made there a moment ago. But you'll see that a lot of the walls that I'm making are quite square, and I know it's Minecraft, so of course it's made out of squares, you know, it's made out of blocks. But a lot of my walls just went straight across. So at a slightly later stage, I'll redesign the walls slightly to follow the pattern that I'd originally wanted, which was just follow the mountain. Um, but I promise you, the kind of square look it's got going on right now will be fixed by the end of the episode. But I'll let you guys return to the music, and of course there'll be an annotation on the screen right about now, so that you guys can skip ahead to the next bit that I talk. So here we have me building the fourth and final watchtower. Um, yeah, you have probably noticed I've hit a lot of animals off of this thing. I plan on building the watchtower right about here. Um, and I do apologize for that to an extent. If you find yourself being offended by the fact that I'm hitting animals in a video game that are vague representations of an actual animal, it's not an actual animal in the slightest. I'm pretty sure a lot of the noises for the animals weren't even recorded by the animals themselves. Um, but if you take offense to that, I guess I apologize, but It's not going to change, I'm afraid. If there is a chicken in my way, I will hit it to get it out of my way. Not in real life. I will pet the chicken and stroke the chicken and pat the chicken until it is very happy. But in Minecraft, it's some pixels on my screen. I can do what I want to it. It doesn't have feelings. It doesn't have emotions. It's not being abused because in Minecraft, if you haven't noticed, you're the only human there. Human rights doesn't actually exist. I was saying, by the way, this little caverny bit, cavern, cravine, crevasse, whatever. The hole in the floor would make for quite an interesting kind of dungeony area. But yeah, if as I was saying, if you're offended by me hurting the chickens or hurting the cows, I apologize, but that's not changing because they're not chickens and they're not cows. They're NPCs within a video game. NPC standing for non-playable character. This is when I decided, by the way, that I wanted the thing to follow. Here's a chicken. There we go. Follow the structure of the mountain a bit more. So I kind of tried to. I know this particular section of the wall is still pretty straight, but the mountain was pretty straight as well. So yeah, I just connect it up at the end here, and I also think that I reform one of the other walls, maybe even both of them, but I don't know. I say both because the one that we're kind of right opposite here, this one here, that I just glided across, that's a bit more mountainous shaped. Meanwhile, the other ones are a bit more straight across, so there's a slight issue. I can't remember if I tried to fix them or not, but I definitely will. If I didn't fix them now, I'll fix them when I next record, or when I'm actually doing it in survival, I guess. But once again, I'll return you guys to your music. Enjoy. I'm back again. I would usually give you guys more time, but I forgot that this bit was coming up where I realised that now I should have had single player commands installed. World Edit, more specifically, my apologies. But the issue was World Edit for some reason didn't work, which is odd. I was expecting the mod to be working perfectly fine. I had never used it before since reinstalling it, but yeah, it didn't work. So I'll look into getting that to work later on. What I was going to do was select the entire area that I'd built this far to find out how many stone bricks that I'd used, so that I could kind of have a rough estimate of the exact number that I'd need when redoing it in the survival world to lay the first kind of foundations of it. But of course, World Edit didn't work. So what I might do is go download World Edit, and then of course, if you don't know what World Edit is, it's basically a third-party program where you can load your Minecraft worlds into, and then you can basically select entire chunks of a world and add specific filters to make them. I don't know. There's ones that like delete every second block just to make it look cool. There's others that like detect how much redstone ore and stuff is in the area or blah de blah. Basically, I had planned on filtering out everything that isn't stone and then figuring out how many stone blocks are there. Should be nice and easy. But since, of course, the last time that I had World Edit was on my laptop, which is about 3 years ago, I sold my laptop for parts for this computer. I don't know how well it will run on this computer. But my laptop was a lot worse than this computer, and my laptop could just handle it, so I'm assuming this computer will do just fine. But once again, I'll return you guys to your music. Enjoy. at this point, what I was trying to do was just raise every single block in the foundations that I'd built so far to one level, which would give you guys and myself a better representation of what the castle may look like when it's finished. Now, of course, I didn't build it as high as I wanted it. I just built it so that like the walls were clearly walls, not just an outline, you know. Um, but the walls will definitely be very high, but the watchtowers might be slightly different heights, but the walls I intend for them to all be the same height. And then, of course, the keep in the middle. I think it's called the keep. I'm going to keep on calling it that. But the big tall bit is going to be big and tall, of course. And a lot bigger and a lot taller than any of the watchtowers or the walls. Probably, I think I said kind of near the end of this, whilst I built to world height just one pillar up, just to remind myself how much world height was and how much space we really had. So of course it's not going to be at world height. This is only like 160 blocks off the ground-ish. Um, Meanwhile, world height itself is 256, I think. So we've got plenty of room, and I do not intend on using all that room. So the keep itself will probably only be about 2, maybe 3 times taller than the wall itself. And I think that's a relatively reasonable ratio. So this is me finishing it off here. Yeah, I think that's a relatively reasonable ratio that I am more than happy to stick with. The end walls, by the way, won't just be one thick, like one block thick. I hope. I don't know. I might get pretty fed up with building this. That's one issue with me. I can't handle one task all at the same time. I've got to have little breaks now and again from the task. So if I just want the thing done by the end of this, I might just keep them to be one thick and then thicken out the top a little so that you can actually walk on them. Of course, you can walk on one block, but I'd want like kind of bits at the side that you can railings, I suppose, to stop you from falling. Because as you can see from right here, it's quite a fall. But yeah, that's basically the end thing here. I have got a little bit more footage recorded of me building the huge, big, tall pillar. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to end it off here if you guys don't mind. Um, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's been a little bit all over the place with the weird lack of me talking in game and instead just being dubbed over. But if you did enjoy it for some odd reason, feel free to leave it a like. If you really enjoyed it and you want to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.